This week we'll be talking about Dead Island 2 delayed yet again, Sonic co-creator going to jail,
Oh.
in-depth impressions for God of War Ragnarok, Pokemon Violet, and more on Season 6, Episode 45 of Press X to Start podcast. Do the thing! What's up, everyone? I'm your host, DJ, a.k.a. Sexy Bad Choices, a.k.a. Back from Paris. And I've learned one solid phrase. Omelette du fromage. For those who know Dexter, you know what I'm talking about. Let's go. I am joined by...
I am Sean MF Ross.
What the MF stand for?
I have nothing this week. I have nothing.
Oh, are you empty inside? What's wrong?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Well, who else is here?
Jordan, aka JXBot, aka bringer of not Ragnarok.
Oh, so flowers or something like that? Pastries.
Yeah, reverse Ragnarok. It's ultimate peace, but we become a vassal to all the realms because we were like the dwarves. We become vassals to the other realms.
Okay.
Yeah. Huh? Mm-hmm. Reverse Ragnarok. We actually build things. I build
Reverse
things.
Ragnarok. And then last up?
I'm Avery, and I got something to say. I've been holding in for a full year.
Uh-oh.
These men right here, they can't guard me. If you haven't been following us, I've effectively won the Bless X to Start fantasy league. Like in a dominant fashion to the point where I'm pretty sure I could not put a final game as my second counterput, lose 15 points, and still beat DJ by like 5 or 10. So
Yep.
I want to point this out right here. I was confident the entire year. 0 points. I looked at every one of y'all lists, and it was garbage from the start. I questioned every decision everyone ever made, and I said I was quiet because I wanted to say my shit at the end of the year when it was clear that no one could stop me.
Wait a minute. I think there's a record on our Discord of Avery saying GG's because he was like, I'm done.
I forgot what game it was. That was during the period of time where DJ had a couple games on his list. I'm like, this could cause some damage, and then for some reason they just either did horribly or didn't. So I'm like, I bet I've won this. So
yeah. The last 2 months or so has been completely devastating for my list, and I hate it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we will be doing that. We'll be doing that again next year. So make sure you check that out.
I'm also going to retire next year.
Avery's gonna be on.
Yeah.
The amount of stress I went through to try and win this year is something I can't have for my liver.
Your liver.
Yeah.
True. Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll try to either help Avery's liver to get him back for next year, but okay, so how does this go? We did our intros. You know who we are. Oh, yeah. Press X Star Podcast is a weekly show where we talk about the latest gaming news, review the biggest games, and give you the thoughts we are talking about. I just made that up. About video games. Our goal is to expand the video game media landscape through an underserved point of view. On YouTube, get our gaming news breakout on Tuesdays, what we've been playing on Thursday, and the whole thing as a podcast on Fridays. I can't see the rest of the thing because Sean is posting in our Discord chat. Wait. Oh, if you're watching on YouTube, you can support us by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and hitting the notification bell. Hit it. Not all those times, because if you hit it all those times, you might actually not hit the notification bell, so you won't. Anyways, just hit it once. Hit it once.
I just posted that Ed Boon said the next game would either be Injustice 3 or MK12. I think I'm more interested in Injustice 3.
Yeah, it's about time.
I won't play either, so.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. I don't hate the games. I just, Mortal Kombat is just not my bag in terms of fighters. If you're listening, you can subscribe. No, wait a minute.
Look at Sean's face. Sean's like, fuck you.
If you're listening, we would appreciate you leaving us a review on Apple Podcasts or the podcast service you are tuned in on. If you want to join in our conversation, because our conversation is lovely and you should join in, you can join our Discord at pressx2start.com/Discord. Now that I've got that all out the way, I think I can finally take a breather and we can jump into the next thing, which is the Gaming news. It should say gaming news there, and it's not. Hey, look, I went on vacation, guys. So everything, I'm still coming back, and I'm still trying to get things back. So by the time you see it, it will say gaming news. All right, Avery, let's go.
Fun fact, what I learned producing the show is that recording through OBS won't record my own audio. So that explains why DJ does a 2 PC setup. So this time I gotta figure out a way to smooth that out, because that doesn't seem smart.
DJ, did you bring back a baguette?
No, actually, I couldn't. Yeah, look, U.S. Customs, they don't play. Oh, side note, actually, when we came back, they put us into a bus that didn't look like a bus until we realized that there was seats and like, oh, this is actually a weird bus thing, and they bust us off to somewhere else. We landed in Dulles, and they busted off to somewhere else, and then there they let us go into the airport. And I was just like, oh, this is weird. So yeah,
They're just listening. That's all.
They bust you to someplace else on was it on the Dulles Airport campus? Or?
I guess so. I don't know. It was dark. We got back at nighttime, so I don't.
Can I ask you something, DJ?
Yeah, go for it.
Where'd you sit on this bus?
On the left side. Well, technically in the back, because we were like.
You, my friend, are entitled to a complaint, my sir.
The worst part is that we sat in the back because we thought it was the front, and then when they let us go in reverse. I was like, God damn it.
Oh, the back of the bus is always most fun part.
I hate America. You know what I mean? Jeez. Yeah, Avery, gaming news.
It's fun when it's an option.
Okay. Our first piece of gaming news. This is from IGN. This is from Ryan Dinsdale. Dead Island 2 delayed again, this time to April 2023. So Dead Island, a game that has been a vaporware game since its announcement, was announced at the very prestigious. Was it opening night live, or was it? Okay, so yeah, it was announced at the Key.
No, because it was
announced at the Keeley thing. I know that for sure. I can't
by Goat Simulator.
Yes. Okay, so it wasn't Gamescom, because Gamescom was so EU focused that I don't think it was announced there. I do think it was opening night live.
Yeah.
I think it was a big ending for opening night live, and I was like, okay, this is a choice to make. So it was re-announced there with a CG trailer, and it gave a brave date of, I want to say, the end of this year. The end of this year. I want to say, December 6th. Yeah, I think their original date was December 6th, and now they've been pushed all the way back to. No. It was announced December 6th, got pushed to February 3rd, and now it's been pushed again to April 28th, 2020.
There you go.
So yeah.
Well, even before its second push, as Avery said, in February, it got the longest running production game, or the longest, the most. The longest a game has ever been in production.
It's vaporware. It's vaporware. It's a game that it was announced, but no one believes it exists.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds about right. Like the trailer they showed, I'm showing you right now. It looked. I think it did well, at least for me, as like a tone piece of like what you're in for when you play this game. I was excited to see what this turned out to be when it comes to actually playing the game, because I did like Dying Light, but I think for me and the way I ingest zombie games and horror games in a weird way is like I don't like when it gets too scary. So like Dying Light at nighttime, I was like, I can't play this game because like I don't feel like having to run away from something crazy or scream. Yeah, it just gets me taken back to my ancestors. I don't like that. I just don't like that. Like, so.
Do you wear the pens when you're playing a scary game?
I don't wear anything.
Oh, okay.
Fuck the pens. Like, what? Why am I wasting money? I'll just clean the floor under me. You know what I mean?
Sick.
But yeah, it is. I just, if they have to delay the game to make the game better, good, do it. Do what you gotta do. But it just doesn't sound good when you're delaying a game that's been delayed for years already. So, yeah. Is anyone gonna get this game? Is anyone interested in getting this game?
Nope. This is one of those no power in this verse games.
I don't think. I'm trying to think if I played Dying Light or Dead Island. I don't know.
They're not too dissimilar in terms of how they function.
Yeah, I don't know. I
Resource gathering.
may not. I have to look at the reviews. I mean,
They're
Yeah.
also both Deep Silver games, which I was like, why would you make two first-person zombie action like survival
know
games?
that. Oh.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was the original thing around them.
Yeah. That's interesting. Okay.
No, I think I wasn't gonna get this because I also didn't play Dead Island 1. And then 2, I think with the time it took for this game to be announced and then for this trailer to get up, the actual trailer and then the gameplay trailer they announced didn't really do anything for me. I think the trailer was a good tone piece, but it's like a good tone piece for like a type of thing that like I'm just generally not into anymore.
Yeah.
Dying Light is WB and Techland.
I think they're both Techland games.
Oh.
And then this doesn't have the parkour system that Dying Light has, right?
Yeah.
And then I guess in the trailer they showed it's like a environmental.
Yeah, they're both Techland.
Yeah, the developer is Techland, but the publishers are different. I mean, I guess if that's your bag, we just making zombie games.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that. That's crazy.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this does. Yeah.
Was Dying Light delayed in such a manner?
No.
Mm-mm.
What?
Well, yeah, actually, Dying Light was delayed repeatedly, but that was a game that we saw repeatedly over time, so it wasn't really vaporware.
Okay, that's interesting. What the fuck is going on in Techland then?
Do you want to be honest? They are a AA publisher. I mean, they're a AA studio with a AA publisher in the Embracer Group.
Oh well,
yeah.
Fuck the Embracer Group.
There you go. Hey, you listener and viewer, if you are excited about not Dying Light, damn, if you're excited about Dead Island 2, let us know down low in the comments or just do that thing.
Same fucking game. Whatever. If you're excited, just let us know.
It doesn't even have to be for Dying Light.
It don't fucking matter.
If you're just excited for the holiday break coming up, just let us know. Oh man. All right, Avery, what's next?
Okay. Our next story is this is a long festering story that I haven't really talked about or we really haven't discussed here because I actually wanted to wait for the smoke to finish with this to see what's going on. This is from IGN again. This is from Matt Kim. Bethesda responds to Mick Gordon's Doom internal allegations. So about a couple of years ago, the fans of Doom noticed that the game's music was just not great. It wasn't produced or like the songs in themselves. Like I'm not gonna question the quality of them because that's a very subjective thing. But the way they were presented to the game in the game's files and given to players wasn't great. And then when they voiced those concerns, the game's composer Mick Gordon said, "Yeah, that wasn't me." And he went on and explained that like this sort of thing about how he didn't really work on the latter half of this game. Bethesda snapped back and that's not true. What Mick has been saying is not necessarily true. They gave their own chain of events, and then 2 years or so passed, and then Mick Gordon came out with a very long letter, a very long Medium post with receipts about everything he went through over the production of Doom Eternal. Also explaining that one of the reasons why he's been silent is because of all the legal stuff that's going on, and that one of the final things was them trying to pay him off so they won't talk about this going forward. And he's like, I'm not going to do that because it's like the thing that's happened with this game is Bethesda saying that Mick has been lying about all of this has ruined, sort of been a tarnish to his actual career as a composer. So he's been want to get this monkey off his chest. And then in response, Bethesda's like, nah, if he wants to fucking bring out receipts, we also have receipts. Everything he's still saying is wrong. So now we have a he said with a lot of receipts that Bethesda / Microsoft is willing to go to higher courts of libel to deal with.
Yeah. I will repeat the thing that Jeff Grubb said in his last thing. They should just sue each other. They should sue each other so it could actually be a legal battle and it can be solved, and then we can just move on from this, because putting it out in the open air like this is just you don't know who to believe because we're only hearing piecemeal of this story from both sides, and it's just like, all right, like obviously there was some shit happening between the two parties, and it sucks that we the consumers, or I guess I should say Jordan the consumer, because you played Doom Eternal, right? And didn't you
I'm not
actually?
the only one that played it.
Yeah.
I played it. I played it as well.
Oh, okay.
Awesome.
Well, Avery and Jordan, it sucks that you two had to deal with flat music versus the possibility of having a full fallacious soundtrack.
No, that was mostly it was mostly regulated to the soundtrack. I mean, the big part of Doom and its experience is the music, which has inspired other Doom like games. At least recently, I think Hell Raising or something like that came out recently, which is a Doom game, or the beat goes with the shooting and the gameplay and really immerse you in experience. So when Mick Gordon did leave not too long after Doom Eternal came out, people were very dismayed because of how integral his music stylings was for the overall experience. And
Yeah.
there's some bad blood here, and Bethesda saying that Mick's actions are leading to threats to staff, and
Wow.
you don't want to have that happening also. Like, I don't know
Right.
what Doom fans would want to harass Bethesda themselves, and it's a messy, stinky situation. And I now wonder about Doom 3. It's clear that Mick will not be a part of Doom 3, and the quality of the music of that as a baseline when that comes out, or if it comes out. So it's pretty shitty right now for id Software.
Facts. I mean, it will be interesting to see what happens to the next Doom, though, for sure. Yeah.
Okay. Our next story is a follow-up to some information follow-up to a little Easter egg that became a story that became a major company trying to dissuade fucking silence rumors. Anyway, so this is from Kotaku. This is from Ethan Gotch. Microsoft shelved Game Pass streaming box because it was too expensive. So the Keystone stick that everyone has been like, oh, this is what Microsoft is. This is the next step for Microsoft Game Pass in xCloud. Is this streaming stick that they can sell cheap and just get people in at a dollar level to more Game Pass and like help the relatively stagnant Game Pass numbers, at least for Game Tech. The main Game Pass, not the PC Game Pass, they help those explode because here's a completely different demographic who doesn't own an Xbox and can just get this streaming stick in the the hypothetical streaming future. Well, they've Spencer and the team have pretty much said that it's not a thing. And everyone's like, why is it not a thing? And they're like, it's not a thing because it's too expensive to make. Like, we're not going to just make a file stick that just has Game Pass and access to a website that allows you to stream. We're trying to make a thing that has enough processing power to make sure that the games you're streaming are operating at a comparable level. And they're like, it's too expensive.
I mean, like my question, like if I was ever had the opportunity to interview them, is what variables are they using to determine expense? I think we discussed about the concept of streaming, and like how there's many parts of the United States that are still trying to build up their bandwidth or trying to build up the internet services. So consoles in general are being produced at a loss. No matter what these companies are saying, there's still like, in terms of like returns, like bare returns on whatever money's going into production, distribution, all that. I just wonder, is it because the market is still fairly novel for them to go forward with a new plastic device? Is it their perception of profitability? Because right now, 2021 and 2022, Samsung televisions, mine just 2020, some of them have the ability to have Game Pass built into it. Like, are they still trying to leverage
to that
those?
point? To that point, it's Samsung. Those are essentially mini computers built into televisions.
Correct.
Where what the ideal for Microsoft, and they sell for over $1,000. It's like, for a good one anyway. For a cheap one, things vacillate, but that's just actual like the production television is a different thing. But like with them, it's like I think the ideal is somewhere under $100, and they can't conceivably figure out a way to make that under $100 so it doesn't just undercut the Series S.
But like within the range too. Like it could be like double or triple that, and they're like, no, fuck that. But
so is it not purely streaming then? Like Stadia, are they not utilizing or leveraging the Azure servers and what have you? Because why can't they put out something similar to what?
I think, and I could be wrong, is to my earlier point about them wanting to have processing power in the stick.
Yeah.
Is that they're being cognizant of the fact that the streaming future doesn't really exist. So in my head, they're like, okay, this streaming system is going to have memory. The streaming stick is going to have memory. It's going to have processing power so that it can, in the background, download at least a portion of a streamed game, so that the streamed game will quote unquote feel like it's streaming. Correct. Yes.
Yeah, you have to offload some of the work onto the actual device itself versus trying to do it all through streaming, because that it's not gonna work as seamless as we would want as gamers, especially since we're used to playing console quality games. So yeah, I'm not necessarily surprised at this. Oh, because story time, real quick. Hey, so I had went to as I said earlier in the show, I went to Paris for a vacation, and we landed in London, spent the day there, and then went to Paris. In London, I did my PS remote play, and it worked flawlessly. I was like, oh, this is great. When I went to Paris, I was like, okay, I say worked great. It was serviceable. It wasn't great. It was serviceable. I went to Paris, and I was just like, okay. The next day, I got to do my Gundam dailies because I gotta keep it going.
Yeah.
Try to get on. Didn't work. There was some weird error, and I was like, okay, that's strange. I looked it up, and people were like, oh yeah, you got to do port forwarding in order for it to work. And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, it literally worked the day before. Like, why is this a thing? Turns out the issue wasn't my PlayStation. The issue was that I was in Paris. Because when I went back to London to come home, it worked fine. It worked normal. And I was just like, I couldn't even comprehend like why that was an issue, because I would assume internet is internet. But I mean, it's possible. Yeah, exactly.
Quality of services all over the place.
Well, but here's the thing though, like the internet that I had in Paris, like I checked the speeds and stuff, and it was like, it was like 200 and something down and like 100 and something going up, and then
it still may have to do with the quality of service and ports forwarded and open the connection that you were using.
Yeah, I think it was the whole like ports forward and stuff was the actual issue, but it was so weird that is just a unseen issue that you'd have to face when it comes to streaming games all over the country, and it's just like, all right, this just sucks. And there was no documentation in terms of like why this was an issue, other than it might just be a port forwarded thing. So yeah, it's just, we are very much so at the dawn of streaming console quality. So
there also is the argument. Well, there is the thing where I'm on the mindset that you just can't sell a streaming stick. You have to sell a streaming stick with a controller. So there is that price that's going. Yeah, that has to go up with that. And then there is we just live in a post-Stadia world. Let's not do something quite similar at the same time.
Yeah, I feel you.
That's a good point too, yeah. All right, well, before we get into Sonic's co-creator going to jail.
Wasn't fast enough.
Wasn't fast enough.
Okay.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Hey, listener, we hope that you are enjoying our content as much as we enjoy making it. Please do us a solid and hit this like button. Hit that like button. If you're of course, if you're watching this on YouTube, hit the like button. If you're listening to this, there is no like button to hit. So again, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell, because we need you to do those three things. If you are listening, we would do. Words are coming very slowly to me. The streaming is bad over here. Please leave us a review. Tell us how great we're doing, and just leave us a nice little comment. We greatly appreciate that. If you do those things, we greatly appreciate it. And now we can jump back into the show. Avery, what's happening with Yuji?
Okay, cool beans. This is a story by Luke Plunkett. This is a report from Kotaku.com. Report: legendary Sonic designer Yuji Naka arrested in Japan. Okay, so Yuji Naka is one of the sort of goats of Japanese gaming, and he's responsible for a lot of. He's specifically credited as a Sonic designer. Well, he was arrested in Japan for insider trading in regards to the Dragon Quest series. So if my memory is correct, I believe that Yuji and a couple of other Square employees were aware that Square as an organization were going to invest in or ship a Dragon Quest game to a third-party Japanese studio. So they invested in that Japanese studio prior to this news getting out there, so that when the eventual Japanese studio instantly gets a stock bump from the news, they could then sell that money sell those stocks for a profit afterwards. And he's being investigated and, I believe, arrested by the Japanese government in response.
See, where he went wrong was he wasn't an American politician.
I just wanted to see like the new Sonic PSAs when Sonic comes in, like, "Hey kids, have you heard of insider trading? Well, that's no good." Yeah, no, don't do insider trading, kids. It's a goofy ass crime that's very easy to track because it's literally a paper trail for it. It's an agency with the company. Like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
It's like, shot for cash, dog.
Yeah, so he
goofy crime.
This was worth in USD. This was worth about $20K. That's how much he made from selling the stocks. And I'll tell you, jail time is cost more than $20K. I'm not gonna do jail time for 20. No. So it sucks. It sucks that he got caught up into this, and I don't. I bet he's like, why did I do this? Why did I do this? I wonder what the next Sonic game is going to be like.
I want to be clear that Yuji hasn't been working on the Sonic games in a long time.
Oh, really? Oh, never.
So he has no real influence on what's going on with the Sonic franchise.
Oh, so Sonic Frontiers 2 will be perfectly fine. Perfect. Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's no good.
Okay, so our next story is from VGC. This is from Andy Robinson. Blizzard games set to be pulled in China after a dispute with NetEase over license. So this is a really weird story, so I'm going to read a bit of it because I don't have my mind wrapped around it. So Blizzard games are set to be shut down in China after it was unable to come to an agreement with current license holder NetEase over renewing its current deal. When the current deal ends in January 23rd, World of Warcraft, Hearthstone, Warcraft, Overwatch, the StarCraft series, Diablo 3, and Heroes of the Storm will all be suspended. This is a wild story that I can't tell you what the fuck is going on. People from NetEase have talked about how this is not a deal that they wanted to happen, and that there's an implied air quotes jerk. It's somewhere involved in the Activision Blizzard side of it that has generated this effect. But effectively, what this means is that if you're playing any of those games, you will be locked out of playing them legally in China. I'm pretty sure that there's illegal way to play it. I know for a fact that Valorant is still not released in China, but a Chinese team still went to Champions this year. So it's like,
oh my god, this is the first time I've ever played this. Just a prodigy.
What are the controls again?
Oh my goodness. Who are all these people? I have fans?
I saw this person on the YouTubes.
Here's an interesting excerpt. NetEase claimed that the expiration of the Blizzard deal would have no material impact on its financial results, and that net revenues and net income contributions from the licensed Blizzard games represented low single digits as a percentage of its total net revenue and net income of 2021 in the first 9 months of 2022. So if they are believed, them losing this deal isn't going to affect them. The question is this going to affect Activision Blizzard as a company? And I'm of the mindset if who I believe they're calling a jerk is true, that this is a Activision Blizzard scorched earth kind of this Microsoft deal is going to go through. So this is not our problem situation. So let's just save money in whatever deal we were making here and just move forward.
Yeah, I think it is a thing of Activision Blizzard is seeing this as okay, well, we're not going to be really communicating with this company anymore because we'll be going through Microsoft once we get bought out. So, yeah, like we could just end this and save the money, and then maybe next year or next 6 months or whatever, when the deal goes through, like they'll get the service back because they'll be through a new kind of distribution or whatever. So it doesn't matter, but we just don't know that because we're just on this side of the whole conversation. So.
I guess gaming culture is just different over there. I'm looking at their website, like
Yeah, everything's controlled by the Chinese government. Like
not even that. Just if losing Blizzard and there allegedly was single digit percentage profit. I'm looking at the games like these are bringing in the other 90%. What the?
Well, hey, Chinese games, that's a different market.
Well, Chinese, yeah. The Chinese government owns it. B, the Chinese government China is very keen on IP theft and just like, we're just going to straight up rip off your game and then sell it the Chinese way in China to make money. So we don't need you really. And then I don't know. That's all I got.
Avery is spot on that. Yeah, like it's like they are a huge whale in this video game space, but it's tailored to their needs very specifically. Tencent, as much as they want to not be associated with the government, they kind of are. Like their leaders are part of the Politburo. Well, the Politburo is what they call it over there. And yeah, like things in terms of American and Chinese companies may get a little bit weird over the next couple of years because of tensions. So yeah, there'll be more stories in terms of video games in China going forward.
Man, I just don't they better not touch Hoyoverse, man. They better not touch Hoyoverse. Like, every time all these stories come out, I'm like, hey man, like, hey.
Terrible.
Oh man. But yeah, it's really a shame for, the consumers over in China who have spent so much time in these games, and to see it just go away in such a just messed up way. Like
but there's VPNs, like, well, VPNs.
That's true. I know. But I mean,
yeah.
Like I said, the people who want to play these games are going to find a way to play these games.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But like, I'm more so just like, it really sucks for the people who, honestly wanted to play these games, and, they spend money in these games, and now it's just being taken away from them. I really do hope that, this ends positively when Microsoft purchases Activision and they just turn on those servers up again. Yeah.
Like when the Microsoft deal, if and when it goes through, happens, it's not going to be just a fucking switch and everything's going to be back on with China. It's going to be Microsoft and now having to renegotiate deals with China over these games. Because like, if my memory serves me, the Xbox Series X only just got to China. I want to say late 2021.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that came later.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where like even their big launch of their big next gen console have had to fight tooth and nail into China.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at this more so like the PC side of it versus the.
Well, if we get to the PC side of it, then like if you're on PC, just do it illegally. Like nothing's stopping you.
Yeah, I know. Yes, you can do it illegally pretty easy on PC. I'm just talking about the people who they're not necessarily looking to do that, but now they might have to. And
I'm just saying, if you're already doing TurboTax on your fucking PC to fucking play World of Warcraft, it's not going to take you too long to figure out, how do I just keep playing this game around China?
True, that's true. All right. Well, that has been our gaming news. We hope you enjoyed our episode of Press X to Start podcast. I'm gonna say some stuff like, if you're having a good time with us, please do the thing where you like this YouTube video. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to the YouTube channel because we need your subscription to keep us going. It's like our food. And then hit the notification bell because we need you to do that so you can see the things that we are producing for you. If you are listening to this with your ear holes, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or the podcast services you are currently tuned in on. With that being said, I just hit I keep hitting this button where I like go into like pin mode and I see my face and versus like anyways, doesn't matter. Hey, look, you know what? Just keep playing your games. Keep having a good day. Keep being a nice person because only nice people watch our content. And if you're not nice and watching our content, guess what? You lied to yourself. You take care. You have a great day, and you keep being healthy. I guess I don't know. Just play games. Just do that thing. Peace out.
Hey.
All right. All right.
So this is what is this?
This is 45, I think.
Yep.
Bet.